We're going to talk about the 5, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5, the 5 biggest turn-ons for women. Are you ready? Well, hello and welcome. My name is Erica Angelo, and I'm the woman that helps you become the kind of man she just can't resist while not losing yourself or her. That's right. And I've been doing that as a dating and relationship expert going on 13 years now. Now I have to apologize because here I live in Bali and we have like these air conditioning units that are really loud. It's not like the central air and heat that you guys have in other places. No, they're on the wall and they're super loud. And I'm just getting so hot without it on. So I'm gonna leave that on so that I don't start sweating in the middle of this video, which some of you guys might like, but that's not what we're here for. So what are the 5 biggest turn-ons for women? Are you ready? You ready for this? You think you got what it takes? Now the 5th one, you might be a little surprised by, but it's gonna require a lot of courage on your end. So if you're on my channel and you come here often and you're a subscriber, then I know that you have what it takes. And if you're new here and you wanna become that guy, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that YouTube will let you know that I released another video that will save your ass with women. Okay? Okay. Number 1 is this. A guy, and you've probably heard this before, but let's just cover the bases because you know what? It's hot. Women like it. They can't resist this stuff. It turns her on when a guy is chivalrous. Now, I'm going to give a different perspective. Some of you are like, oh man, I knew she was going to say that. I knew she was going to say that. Everyone's saying that. But why? Why? Why is she turned on by this? Because here's the thing. Some guys are really scared to be chivalrous right now. Let's just keep it real. You know, a lot of the feminism, like if a guy tries to do a nice gesture, she's like, I'm an independent woman. I don't need you to open my door. I don't need you to do this. Well, whatever. Let those women continue opening up their own doors and they can be the men of their own lives. But there are women who still enjoy chivalrous men. So some men just continue doing that despite other women who go, I don't want that. Okay, well then quit dating. Go date yourself. But for the women who are still open to that chivalry, when a guy does that, despite what society is changing or saying, he's still a man, he's still gonna do what his mama taught him to do because he wasn't raised by no apes. He was raised by a good woman who's taught him how to treat women. Women appreciate that. That turns them on. It's like, listen, this guy's still comfortable in his skin. Despite what's going on in society, this dude's still going to be a real man. He's still going to be chivalrous. He's still going to open up doors. He's going to pay for the dinner. He's going to do these things that men with class and elegance still do today. So yeah, if you're still doing that, hey, kudos to you because some guys are starting to flake out on that. And guess what? It turns women off. I'm just going to keep it real with you. Number 2 is this. He is comfortable with his sexuality. Now, this is a tricky one because, you know, we've got Me Too going on. We've got all this shit popping off. But at the end of the day, if a guy is not comfortable with his sexuality by making it known that he's interested in her more than a friend, that at some point the two of them are going to end up in the bedroom, that is something that he desires. It's not the whole thing, but it is what he desires, that this separates him from the men from the boys. The guys who are not comfortable with this are the guys that get friend zoned. And I don't care what women say because behind closed doors, they're going to say, I just didn't have chemistry with him. Well, you didn't have chemistry with him because he never showed his very sexual side. Every man, every woman has a sexual side. We just need to be responsible for our own sexuality. That's where it's gone awry, is people being irresponsible. But here's the thing. When you're comfortable with your sexuality, when you let her know that you're into her intimately by doing little things like, you know, touching her arms very gently or removing the hair from her head or just saying, listen, I have to tell you, this may be a bit not appropriate, but I think you're stunning. And there's everything inside of me that wants to devour you. And I'm trying so hard to be a proper gentleman right now. Woo! That fires her up down there. It goes, woo, this guy is comfortable with his sexuality. The third thing is this. A guy who's not afraid of communication. Here's the thing. A lot of guys get really scared when those hard conversations come up, when she asks the personal things. Some guys really freeze up. Women crave connection, and to facilitate connection, you got to use your damn mouth. You got to communicate. When you are able to communicate with her, when you're able to talk about personal things, when you're able to open up, when she brings up a topic that most guys would run away from, that you stand in the tension and you have the conversation, you communicate, this turns women on. It's just like, wow, finally a man who can talk. Finally a man who can use his freaking voice, who's not afraid to talk about his feelings. Finally, the heavens have opened up and given me a real man. That shit turns her on. I'm just saying. The fourth biggest turn on for women is this: a guy who knows what he wants. I cannot emphasize this enough. A guy who knows what he wants. Listen, he has a goal. He has a future that he is working for. He knows where he's going. He knows what he wants to accomplish. What does that say to a woman? Why does this turn her on? It turns her on because it says, woo, if I sign up with this guy, we're going on a mission. We're going on an adventure. He's taking me places. I am going with him somewhere. Because listen, as more women become more bold and adventurous with their careers and their lives, guess what? They don't want some sour pussies going, I don't know what I want to do with my life. No one wants to carry that weight around. No, we want a man who's going somewhere. And it's like, yeah, let's both go on an adventure. And you can't go anywhere unless you actually plan for it and you have a destination that you're planning for. So a guy who knows what he wants, he's going after it. He's direct about his purpose and his goals and his focus. This is a huge turn on for women. Why do you think so many women go after men who are powerful? Why? Because it takes a lot of focus and determination to get there. It's not something that someone just gives to them. They work hard for it. They're focused and determined as hell to get it. It turns her on. And the fifth thing is this: he's direct that he wants her. Now, this takes a lot of courage because a lot of guys wait to the last minute, if not ever, to let this be made known to a woman. Why? Because you're afraid of rejection. Guess what? Nobody likes rejection. No one ever wakes up in the morning and goes, ooh, I hope I get rejected today. No, listen, we're all on the same playing field. None of us like it. But what separates you is when you can really turn her on by being very direct that you want her. I want to date you. I want to spend time with you. I want to see you this weekend. I can't wait. This is obviously if you guys have made progress and you guys are kissing and things are going. I cannot wait to get you in the sheets. I can't wait to do all sorts of beautiful and wild and seductive things to your body. Like a guy who is super direct with what he wants, it turns her on, because while the rest of the guys are too afraid of rejection and they're not saying anything and they're not making their intentions known, you stand out from the rest of them by letting her know, I want you. That takes a lot of balls, a lot of cojones, and a lot of courage. But if you're one of my emotional warriors, then I know that you have what it takes. Listen, guys, I appreciate you being here. If you've never worked with me, click the link in the comment section or in the description to be able to work with me. But here's the thing, boo-boo. You got what it takes. You might need to brush up on some skills. You might need to brush up on a lot of skills. But listen, get to it. Another day wasted is another day not lived. I should tweet that shit. That was really good. But listen, you are loved in this moment. That's the most important thing, is that you know that you're deeply loved. Now go out there and get your woman. And like this video and subscribe.